platforms. Before that, of course, Wahiga Mora has been complaining up to now that it's getting late to go home. Now somebody's waiting at home, and he'll be questioned. It's 10:15. How was it? How was the wedding? How's the new life?
Hussein Mohammed, first of all, those are things you should have let Janet Mbugua handle when she came back. You've stolen her thunder. I'm sure she's not very happy. But nevertheless, it has been, still is, a very good experience. Similar to what I'm sure you went through as well.
Oh, okay, let's go on now.
I agree. Let's go on. All right, let's take a look at what's trending, Hussein. And of course, it's a new year, so we're going to be taking a different look at what's been trending. We're going to be focusing on the statistics of where things are trending in parts of the world and so forth. And the first hashtag that was trending earlier, yesterday that is the hashtag Garissa University reopens. Interesting details. It reached 2.8 million people. About 417 people were talking about this hashtag, Hussein. And in total, 702 posts. And just so that you know how big this hashtag was, these were the countries that were actually talking about that. The big deal being that the university was opened after 9 months of closure. We all know what happened 9 months ago, how many innocent Kenyan lives were lost. And of course, Kenyans from different parts of the world and other citizens as well went onto social media to talk about this, just to show you how impactful that hashtag was. This is what people were saying. Hussein, let me run you through some of them. The first one was from Ahmed Kadar saying, first Monday of January can't get brighter than this for the people of NEP and the nation as Garissa University reopens. I'm sure we all agree with that. The second one coming up, there was lots and lots of conversation, is this is good news. I pray that no institution would be a victim of the security apparatus inadequacy in 2016. So our feeling that our security setup was largely to blame for that as well. I'm sure many comments on that. Ali Audol saying there's no better way to immortalize the 147 innocent souls than continue doing what they were doing. Hashtag Garissa University reopens. And a final tweet here, a challenge to our leadership coming in from Akbir Rahman Mohammed saying, as Garissa University reopens, we are left to wonder where the president and his deputy are. Remember Westgate reopening. So Kenyans from across the world went onto Twitter to discuss that. Move on to another hashtag here, Team Farah Maalim. This one reached 727,000 people. About 231 users were interacting on this hashtag with 700 or so posts. These are some of the tweets. Of course, this was discussed in Kenya, Somalia, Turkey, and South Africa. You have a comment, Hussein?
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting to see all those countries talking about it.
Actually weighing in, and of course we'll be able later on to tell you which counties also weighed in on this in our subsequent bulletins. Let's take a look at what people were actually saying in regards to that hashtag. Varied views. We try to be balanced in picking what different perspectives were. One saying it's time Garissa people elect someone who can finally speak his mind. They haven't had an MP for 3 years now. That's Saddam Maalim's opinion. We take a look at another tweet on the same topic. Of course, lots of them coming in. Team Dwale, we need both men in parliament to advocate Garissa's issues together. It's sad that the two have to square it out at each other. Feeling that united we stand, divided we lose. That's in regards to Garissa politics. We're in what is seeming to be a political year. Honorable Kibuchi Mwai says, my advice to Kenyans of Northeastern, do not stage a fight between the two. Find a way for both of them to be in positions of power. And finally, a controversial one, Hussein, I want your opinion on this one.
On a controversial one,
we have Koran Hujale saying, those tweeting about this should know that less than 3% of Garissa Township voters are actually on Twitter.
Wow, I don't know what method he's using to establish that, so I cannot comment on that.
You cannot comment on that.
But just for the viewers, I think it was important for Wahiga to explain. Team Farah Maalim means Honorable Farah Maalim, who's a former Deputy Speaker, like their MP, has said he wants to stand for Garissa Township MP.
That's right.
That is the seat currently being held by the majority leader of the National Assembly,
Aden Duale.
So it's going to be a very interesting duel. Duale already saying, bring it on.
It's actually been a very interesting one on social media as well, as you saw on those tweets. Let's take a look at the third one that was also trending, and we'll be able to tell you about the reach. This trended today, reaching 799,000 people. The hashtag was Elgeyo Marakwet says no to female genital mutilation. 100 users engaged in this, 501 posts. Now, in our attempt to find the genesis of this hashtag, some media reports indicating that in December, a young lady actually died from FGM. And so this is an attempt to get the conversation going on. It was discussed in Kenya, Uganda, Norway, Ghana, and the USA. Let's take a look at what some people were saying about this in 2016. And a lot of the comments were headed in one particular direction. To doctors and nurses who are involved in perpetuating FGM, we say shame on you. That was one of the tweets in regards to that. We move on to others. It's actually trending at #1, has been for most of the day, and an issue pertinent to several of our counties. Cornelius Motanya saying, though government has banned it, it can't end when corrupt officials on ground are still in office. So two issues there. You can see doctors there being pointed fingers at, and of course corrupt officials as well, said to be aiding the vice. Chief Ketem also putting the leaders there. Elgeyo Marakwet, Senator Kipchumba Murkomen was told you should be in the front championing the rights of those affected in your county. I'm sure he has a response to that, also very active on social media himself. And finally, Sasha says it's not only Elgeyo Marakwet. Other places, they do it. But why? That's what's trending right now, Hussein. That's what's been trending for most of the day. We wind up with some quick, funny pictures. It's January and people want to laugh a bit. What would Magufuli do? Still trending, Hussein. And this one is when you need new clothes and a mosquito net, you combine them. And that's a beat at Southeast Soul there. Rather interesting get up there. Another one, what would Magufuli do? Trended into the new year when you want to buy a car, but you can't afford it. And then, I don't know.
Almost outrageous,
Well, I think we've got 3 more real quick. Trends chap is what we're doing right now. What would Magufuli do? It's 2016, you don't want to buy a new calendar. Pick up the 2010 one, change the date, and you're all set. And if you can actually verify that. Of course, Magufuli, having a great impact on Kenyans on Twitter. What would Magufuli do? You buy a uniform that will last the whole 8 years. And kill several birds with one stone. And on a final humorous note, as kids go back to school, these are some of the expressions that you might be seeing on some of their faces. Hussein, I don't know if that was your posture when it was time to go back to school. But on that note, that's what we have for today's trends. We'll have more insights into this. Many are saying this is a political year. We'll be telling you what people are saying in regards to politics, but also development, because that cannot be left hanging as we get closer and closer to the elections. So expect that and much more on trends moving forward. Thank you, Hussein.
Right, Wahiga, thank you so much. Brilliant as always. We'll be with you again next week, God willing. He has to run now back home. Both he and I have to run back home. We're being waited for in our respective homes.